Luc Bouchard with Solve Act Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years and I specialize in men's issues and what keeps men stuck. Today is the 66th video of the 72-day challenge. We are in the 10th week, the final week of the challenge. I'm so excited. The weekly theme is wrap up. The daily focus is male conditioning, or how men are socialized. And the topic is 3 key points from the last 72 days on male socialization. Welcome and thank you for attending and watching this video. It has been an incredible 9 weeks, and this is the wrap up. And what this last week is about is going to go through 3 main points of every daily focus on what I want people to leave with and what I want to basically takeaways in a lot of ways. So as you know, if you've been watching, Mondays has always been about the male condition or socialization. Tuesday is about men and relationships. Wednesdays have always been about how men parent different than women or mothers. Thursday is about emotionality and how men deal with emotions. And Friday has been the life skills process. Saturday has always been my creativity day, and the last day, the Sundays, have always been interviews. So every day, or for the next 5 videos, I'm going to be covering the 3 takeaway points from the 10 topics on those days. And I hope that makes sense. And it'll become clear as I go through this video and the subsequent videos. So the 3 things I want to be takeaways for people watching these videos, and for men who are listening and women who are also watching these videos, are from video 3, 17, and 52. And I'm going to be reading my notes here because they're a compilation of all those days, so I apologize for not looking at the camera. Video 3 was about saving face. Video 17 was about the correlation between ego and humility. And video 52 was about selling the unsellable, being authentic. In video 3, when I talked about saving face, the essence and the main thrust of that video is about worrying about what other people think, protecting of self because you're worried about what other people think. False pride is very fear-based, and it really gives your power away. But what's driving all that is the ego, and how the ego is really this thing that can in some ways really keep us stuck. And as you recall from that video, what I talked about is the ego's job is one of 2 things. It's either to say, look how great I am, or look how awful I am. And when you have this kind of, you're either all that or you're none of that, then what happens is that we have a need to protect ourselves from those perceptions. So it's great when we feel fantastic, but when we don't feel good, that's when the ego's job kicks in to protect ourselves and distance ourselves from any pain and suffering. Video 17, the correlation between ego and humility, was a further extension about the ego, and also how you have the greater the ego, the greater the need to protect yourself, the less the ability to have humility. And in essence, humility is really about being able to say, I don't know, I need help, I can't figure it out. But if we're so based in being right, and we're so entrenched in worrying about what other people think and protecting ourselves, then we're not going to have the ability to actually say to others, I don't know. Please help me out with this. And then in video 52, selling the unsellable, being authentic, it was really about what happens when ego and lack of humility comes into play with authenticity. And authenticity is really about saying how it is for you and being true to self, being true to others, being honest about what's really going on, being honest about the current situation and not how you wish it to be, but how it is, how you seeing a situation to truly how it is. And men in a lot of ways have a hard time being authentic with self because they're so worried and they're so bent on protecting themselves because their ego is getting in the way and they can't basically do what is necessary to have humility. And that is, or they can't do, or they're reluctant, or they've been not socialized to do what is necessary to have the humility and to be authentic. And that is get in touch and accept and admit that they have some of what I call the softer emotions. And those are things like fear, anxiety, vulnerability, powerlessness. When we have fear, anxiety, vulnerability, and powerlessness, that puts us in a very out of control state as men. It's a place that we're not feeling comfortable with, and it's a place we try to avoid. You don't feel like you have a lot of personal power when you're in a vulnerable space. So what we're trying to do in so many ways is avoid that because we've been told it's not okay. And frankly, those are really correlated with being feminine. And if you have that, if you're expressing those type of things, that's not okay. And for a gender that really works on trying to show that they're tough and they're hard, we're not really, we're not really authentic, and we give our power away about the softer emotions of fear, anxiety, powerlessness, and vulnerability. We're so worried about what people think. We're so fearful of what they might do with that information. When we're not authentic, we stay stuck, we're living in pain, we're not comfortable in our own skin, we have little peace of mind, and we're more likely to be depressed. The other side of being authentic is that of we're less stressed, we sleep better, there is better relationships with our children, better relationships with our spouses. The likely, gentlemen, we probably get laid more if we're more authentic because we're having a connection with others. We're more happy in general, and we're less likely to be depressed. And at the heart of authenticity is connection with others, and primarily connection with self. And if you don't have a good connection with self, how are you going to have a good connection with others? Selling Unsalable was a video and a concept around how do you convince or get men to buy into something where they can't immediately see the benefits and the payoffs for it. And so many of my clients that I deal with will only actually start moving forward when they are in so much pain that staying in the pain is not worth moving out of the pain. Pardon me. So when the pain becomes so unattainable, that's when they're going to move forward, and that's when they're going to take the risk. And I likened it to stepping off. You're in this cave of pain, and there's a big drop off in front of you, but you can't see because the cave is so huge. You don't know what you're going to step off into. You don't know how far you're going to fall. And a lot of men are saying to me, "Why would I step off into that when I don't know what's going to be?" And I'm saying, well, no, it's going to be fine when you get to the other side. And they're going, it may be, but I don't believe it. And that's the unsellable. Until they actually step off and go through that and come to the other side and see how much lighter it is and how much better it is when you leave that pain behind, they're not going to do it. And that's the unsellable. So I get to the point in my videos where I will ask the question, and that is, what do you deserve, and how do you want to live the rest of your life? Because the only way I know to peace of mind and personal happiness is by being authentic with self. And a lot of people avoid authenticity through self-medication, alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling. And that's all about going external because we don't want to deal with what's internal. And gentlemen, we are particularly guilty of avoiding our softer emotions. but it's no real way to live. I know, been there a lot. So I encourage you to look at what's keeping you stuck and what's stopping you from being authentic. Is it your ego? Yes. Is it the need to save face? Yes. Are you so worried about what other people think? Likely. And are you going to be held hostage by that for the rest of your life? It's a choice. And it's your choice to decide how you want to live the rest of your life. It's doable. I know. And this is personal experience talking, and how many people I've helped as a life skills coach, and how people tell me on a regular basis, I can't believe how much better my life is. I couldn't have done it if I hadn't been prepared to look at this stuff. So I encourage you to embrace authenticity and live a more truthful life. Luc Bouchard with Socialization Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years, and I have thoroughly enjoyed making these videos, and thank you so much for watching. Take care now.